I'm a rep, right? And it's against company policy to report them. And that sits in the deepest part of my soul. At the end of the day, that is a patient on the other side of that table. If that's not the first thing that you think about and the only thing that you think about, then you need to leave. I used to think for real that you could have it all as a mom, as a woman. And I think what's not talked about enough is you can't.
Ashley Duncan, welcome to the Device Girls.
Hi, happy to be here.
We're so excited.
So excited.
This episode's going to be unhinged.
Yes.
In the best way.
In the best way.
So Ashley has worked in both pharma and device. And so she is going to kind of give us some of her wisdom on device versus pharma and things like that. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Ashley?
Well, I'm Ashley Duncan, 35 years old. I've been in medical device or pharma now going on 15 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's the only thing I've ever done.
Okay.
So, I mean, of course I had small jobs like before getting, tanning salon, the bank in college, things like that. But ever since I graduated college, this is all I've ever done. So it's literally all I know.
What made you want to get into it?
I kind of fell into it by accident.
Okay.
I was a senior in college.
Okay.
Freaking out. Had no idea what I was going to do with my life. Literally the thing that lit a fire under my butt is somebody said, you have to pay your student loans 6 months after you graduate, right?
And you're like,
it's 6 months?
What?
6 months.
What am I supposed to do? So no lie, I graduated. I went to flight attendant school.
Okay.
Oh, really?
I was going to be a flight attendant.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I worked, was going to work for this private company that did charters for Texas Tech, the president, just
Nice.
small charter. But I happened to be at a St. Patrick's Day party in Dallas.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of it. And I met this random guy. My two roommates and I were playing drunk Jenga.
Okay.
And I met this guy with an Aggie ring. And I'm like, oh,
baby.
Yeah, I saw, I see you're an Aggie. We just kind of hit, I'm not an Aggie. I don't even know why that's important, but that's how I started the conversation with him. And it was like, what's, what do you do? I'm about to graduate. I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life. And he said, oh, I'm a medical device rep. What are you talking about? Love and other drugs. What do you mean? He's like, no, not like that. So he actually let me come do a field ride with him for a week. Just to kind of see what they do, if it's something I would be interested in. And I honestly fell in love with it and was like, oh, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because I was going to flight attendant school, but what I really wanted to do was go to PA school.
Okay.
I actually worked here in Abilene at D1 when I was in college. I did an internship there and I worked with Ted. Shout out Ted. And he made me want to be an orthopedic PA. I was like, that's what I want to do. But I just had to get there, and more school honestly just was not for me.
Yeah.
So I went and did the ride along for device and was like, oh yeah, this is the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You can make just as much money and you can have a good work-life balance. You don't have to worry about patients all the time. And it was fun. I loved it. So I got sold.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. So why ortho in the beginning?
I
Curious because I was in ortho too. So
I think just being an athlete my whole life, you get attracted to that, and you just know the type of people that are going to come in and athletic injuries. And if you've been an athlete long enough, you've seen an athletic injury take somebody out, and you don't want to be on that side of that.
Yep.
You want to be on the healing side of that, right? So I was like, we can do better. There's so much that we can do better on. So that's why I wanted to do ortho, but I only ended up doing ortho and medical device for a hot second. It was my first medical device job. And I carried their line for foot and ankle and hand and wrist metal just for a hot second. But then I stayed far away from ortho after that.
Yeah.
So what's been your favorite specialty and why?
gosh, they're all so different, right? They're all so fun. Like every disease state is fun. Just learning a new one is fun. I mean, some of them are really challenging, don't get me wrong, but no, learning the different disease states is fun. But I think my favorite one, I worked for a company called Axogen, and we sold a nerve allograft for nerve repair. And that was just like so cool because we did so many different specialties. Like I worked with plastic surgeons, like crazy reconstruction cases. And I can't wait to tell you about some of those. But then simple stuff, right? Like carpal tunnel. But then we did like crazy reconstructions of the mandible. We did post mastectomy breast reconstruction. Like basically any nerve besides the spinal cord we did. So I just saw some insane things. It was so fun. Like it was innovative. And like before, what were they going to do? You know, there wasn't really anything to do. Maybe this like old school procedure where they take your nerve out of another part of your body to replace that nerve. It just sounds so traumatic. So that's been my favorite one.
That is
especially nerves. I think it's interesting you say that because when I was in ortho, it was ortho, sports med, trauma, all kind of together. And so I kind of fell in love with the sports med side of it when I was only there for 8 months too, like you. Hot minute. And but because of like the allografts and stuff, when they would repair people's ACLs and all of that, I thought it was so cool. But that stuff is tedious. Like watching them like weave the suture through. I mean, insane.
Yeah, I mean, we did most of our cases like under a microscope with a 9/0 suture, like crazy. Like the level of talent that some of these surgeons have is incredible. And sitting back as a rep, you know, you're like, oh, I can do that. Yeah. But then they send you a lab for training, and you're like, there's literally no way I can see that suture. What are you talking about?
Yeah. That is so funny. How do you, so since you're like working in like every area of the body at that point, so like what is your prep like for each of those cases?
I don't think the prep really is much different from case to case because you're really just working on the nerve. Like the surgeons got it as far as like anatomy, like muscle, veins, arteries, like they got it. I don't really have to know a lot of that. They just bring me in for like showtime. Okay. You know, I don't. So, I mean, really my training was specifically on the nerves. Okay. Now we did have specialists within Axogen that were like head and neck specialists. We had breast specialists where they were a little more aware of the anatomy. And if there was like a nuance to the case that they needed help on, and they were there to really help. But my training wasn't anything like super crazy for like the arm versus the leg, anything. I just really needed to know how to put nerves together. So yeah, nothing fancy there.
That would be
so cool.
So cool.
So you worked in med device and then you transitioned to pharma. So what kind of made you jump, and what was that like going from one to the other?
Yeah, my career's kind of been crazy because I've kind of moved around a lot. So I started in med device, went to pharma, went back to med device, stayed in med device for a while. And then I went to like the aesthetic side. And then I went to pharma, and then I went back to med device.
I'm curious about the aesthetic side.
So fun
stuff to talk about.
I got all the things to say. So the first time I went from med device to pharma truly was because I was in a position, and then they did away with my position at work. And I was kind of given the option, hey, if you want to stay like an associate and kind of work your way up, you can do that, but you need to move to Washington.
Oh. No offense, Washington. There's nothing wrong with you. But
no offense, but like just we're from good Texas. Old country girl from Texas. It's all I've ever known. And you know, hindsight, like I probably should have done it and just got the experience, but you couldn't have talked me into moving out of Fort Worth at the time. I just was going to stay there like no matter what. So I found the next job that I could, and it just kind of like fell in my lap. I had a friend that was working there, and she kind of recruited me over. She's like, just try pharma. You might really like it. And I did. I went and tried it, and I will say the call points I had, like I had some acne medication. I had a really sexy toenail fungus medication.
Oh,
it was
love
so
it.
sexy. Yeah.
Did you use it on yourself?
No toenail fungus here. None here. But
Hey, I don't know what your problems are. You might have found some inspiration.
Listen,
and
I have some ex-boyfriends. I probably should have been like,
Yeah.
We're gonna try this out.
No,
Oh,
but the call points were really cool. So I got to call on again some plastic surgeons.
Yeah.
Literally always my favorite call point. A lot of dermatologists and primary care.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I just kind of like fell into it. It wasn't like a conscious like move of like, okay, I really want to go try this out. But I was young. I was right out of school. I'd only been in the industry for like a year. I knew if I wanted to keep in like the medical device pharma world, like I needed to keep on that path.
Yeah.
So this opportunity was like just the next opportunity that became available to me. And it was cool. I learned a lot. And I will say I've worked with some of the smartest people like in the pharma industry.
Yeah.
I think if you made me like, you know, held a gun to my head and made me pick, like I'm probably more of a medical device girl, but there's good and bad to both, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So walk us through, like, if we completely knew nothing about the difference between pharma and med device, like what would you tell somebody who doesn't know anything about the industry about the differences?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about pharma and med device reps, like pharma, they're really like clinical, like education based. Like their job is to go in and educate doctors on new medications, and hopefully their doctors can benefit from those medications, right? And then on the flip side, you've got these medical device reps who have these crazy extensive training on a device, pick any device, right? The human nerve that I sold. And then you actually teach the doctors, right, how to use these products. So they know what a nerve is. You don't have to teach them that, right? But what they did not get in medical school was how to use this particular device, like in a surgical setting, right? So you actually get to walk them through that. I mean, there's really nothing cooler than like being scrubbed up in a sterile field and like a doctor looks over at you and they're like, Ashley, what do you think? Like, how does this compare to what you've seen other surgeons do? Like, that is the coolest feeling.
Yeah.
I didn't really get that on the pharma side. They didn't, you know, they're not like, would you prescribe this for your patient? Like, nobody asked me that.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I agree.
So cool.
It is such a rewarding feeling, like to know that you're just a part of the team and like such a valuable player.
Wait, okay. So what did you major in college, and what was that like for you jumping into like the medicine side of things?
Yeah, I studied kinesiology in college.
Okay, so similar to me.
Yeah, so I was like gonna be a PA. Like that was what I was gonna do. You couldn't tell me otherwise. That was what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
So I kind of always had been like around like health and fitness and wellness and medical. So it wasn't really like a surprise for me. It was actually just kind of like a natural like next step for me.
Yeah.
I'm always curious because there are people that like don't
ever like teachers or coaches.
Yeah. And then they jump into this industry and I'm like, I mean, it definitely can be done, but just like trying to understand like the terminology and everything can be a lot. At times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
So, okay. So you said that plastic surgeons are your favorite to call on. Why?
Yeah. I think plastic surgeons just have a different way of like looking at the world, and they always want to learn something new and what the next new thing is. I mean, think about it. There's a plastic surgeon. I came from Houston most recently. There's a plastic surgeon on every corner. I think there's 3, don't quote me, but I think there's 3 plastic surgery like residency programs, right? So
oh my gosh.
I mean, it's crazy. There's a plastic surgeon on literally every corner. and look at Texas in general. Like everybody is beautiful here. Like we have the best looking women. I don't care. Sorry, every other state, we have the best looking women. And
100%.
they have to keep up, right? I mean, think about every single time you log on to Instagram or whatever. It's like, oh, vampire facial this, PPR this, peptide that. Yeah. Right. So they're just like always in the know. And it's fun to call on a doctor like that wants to know like the new thing and they want to know the next study that was written. They want to know the information. Whereas opposed to like, you know, some of the old school ortho guys, and no offense to them, but like they learned a certain way. It works for them. why mess something up if it's working, you know?
Yeah.
And plastic surgeons are just more open to it. And
So
yeah.
essentially they like to see you coming.
yeah, they absolutely do, especially if you're the Botox rep. So
Yeah.
they love that.
Okay.
That's
Speaking of Botox, what's your favorite type of Botox or Dysport or Daxify or like what is your go-to?
Yeah, I like the one that works.
Okay.
So that's my favorite one.
Okay.
I'm a Botox girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
but I'm sure you guys know I was a Botox and filler rep for a while in Houston. So I'm Allergan loyal.
Okay.
If I get the option, I will pretty much always choose Allergan. Fun fact, Botox is the second most studied drug on the market
Is
after
there?
Really?
Tylenol. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty crazy. And I mean, you know, it's used for more than just aesthetics too.
Mhm.
So that's cool. But
I get mine for migraines.
You get it from where?
I get it for migraines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So helpful.
Yeah. So I'm a Botox girly. I'm loyal.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I get Dysport. I've enjoyed it. Like I really like it. So I haven't had problems.
Yeah. I
Lasts
mean,
for a while. I need to go back and get it done, but
yeah. I'm just
Well, I'm
whatever
frozen.
works. And
Yeah.
again, and this is a big thing with being a rep too. It's not every product works for every single person.
Correct.
Yes.
And that's a big part of
Consistent.
this. So get what works for you. I mean,
Yeah.
I know people that can't have Botox. Like they've gotten it so long now, it just doesn't work. And you need to switch it up. You need a Botox holiday. So
I haven't even tried regular Botox. My injector was just like, "You're so young," and she's like, "Let's just try Dysport if we need to do more." I'm like, "Okay."
We just
But
had
I love
on two aesthetic PAs, and they actually mentioned that, like, if you're having a hard time with that, that they will inject a little bit of like the dissolvent of filler, and it helps bond the Botox, which I thought was like
Interesting.
crazy. Yeah, isn't that
I
weird?
never learned that. But that's interesting.
Tips and tricks.
I don't know. Sounds off label, but
Yeah. That is true. That is true. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about surgery. What is the grossest thing you have ever seen in the OR?
Oh man,
Oh, let's
I
hear
have
it.
wild stories because like I've worked in the burn unit. I've done crazy wild reconstructions with nerve repair. The grossest thing,
Yeah.
oh, probably when I was with Integra, I was selling a skin substitute. So we did a lot of wounds, like massive wounds
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Probably the grossest thing I've ever seen. Well, there's two.
Okay.
One, this guy had like a diabetic foot ulcer.
Yeah.
And like, I get that they don't have a lot of feeling in their limbs and things, so it can be hard. But if there's one thing about wound patients, and not all of them, so I'm not saying that about all of them, but you have to want to be better as a patient. And
Yeah.
a lot of times you see that they don't, and it's really sad.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the OR, we're debriding, and maggots fell out of his foot.
No.
I'm not kidding.
maggots.
Maggots. The second grossest thing I've ever seen.
I would
Yeah.
hurl.
Second grossest thing I've ever seen. Somebody came in for a dressing change.
Oh no.
Yeah. And she was overweight. And we had to like just maneuver her body to get to where we were doing the dressing
Yep.
change. And there was part of a sandwich.
How old? If we were to take a guess.
Old enough to stink. The secret to being like a
No.
wound care rep is like always having like some like Vaseline or
Stick it up your
chapstick or
nose.
something to
Yeah.
stick it right up there.
Oh,
Oh my
my gosh.
That's insane.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. Maggots. Not medical maggots.
That I was
disgusting maggots.
Wait, so you were in the OR. So what did they do? Because isn't that technically like not sterile anymore?
Yeah, I mean, they were just hanging his foot off the side of the bed and, you know,
Scraping
them out.
debriding. And all you can do is just keep getting them out and then just flush it, topical
Whoa.
antibiotic, just get it as clean as you possibly can and start over.
Wow.
Did you get to see that patient after and see if they ended up healing?
Yeah, I did. I actually followed that patient. Again, there's an element of
you have to want
healthcare
it.
that you have
Mhm.
to be your own advocate and you actually have to want to get better.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make some of this stuff up. But when this patient came back for the next dressing change, he rolled in on his little, scooter in like a Bubba keg and like a vape.
Oh God.
You know,
Yeah.
you can kind
Mhm.
of see where this is going, but
Yeah. You didn't want it.
You're not going to heal if you're,
No.
smoking vapes and drinking Bubba kegs of Dr. Pepper. So,
He didn't care.
yeah. You have to
Wow.
care.
I was reading something where like this guy, is it a podcast? I can't remember, but this guy had basically, he was, a heavier set patient, fell or like was borderline bedbound, right? Had basically rolled over on his dog,
Mm-hmm.
didn't know it, killed the
Mhm.
dog, and the dog like necrosed into his body.
Yeah.
What?
It's stuff
Yeah.
like that happens more than
Yeah.
people know.
It's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad.
It is sad.
Yeah. Okay. What's the craziest thing that you've seen in the OR?
Craziest thing I've seen in the OR. I have two that come to mind immediately. My first case with Axogen, I was still in training at Galveston at UTMB. I saw a shark bite. Like it's stuff you only
Dang.
think you're gonna.
Yeah.
You see that on TV.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not gonna see a shark bite. Yeah.
Yeah.
This poor guy came in, and his arm was just like mangled.
Oh.
So we put his arm back together. Yeah, I think we were there for like 28 hours maybe. It was a long time. Yeah.
Do they swap
Oh, really?
surgeons in through that?
I mean, it was definitely a staged, we
Yeah.
had to put the muscle together. We had vascular in there, putting all the veins back together, and then the nerve, and then plastics. So yeah, it was definitely staged. It was wild. I mean, UTMB gets some crazy stuff because, they're right there
Yeah.
in the water. And then the second craziest one I ever saw was a lady worked in I don't know, they manufactured cardboard boxes, right?
Mhm.
And they go on a conveyor belt,
Oh God.
and she had long hair, and she got her hair stuck on the conveyor belt, and it scalped her. So when I got to the OR, it was like a hoodie. It was like folded back, and then her face was like forward.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You see some wild stuff.
That's the stuff you only like hear about, like
Yeah.
freak accident wise.
Yeah. Just freak
But-
accidents. But then, like you just like go downstairs to the cafeteria and eat lunch like nothing
I know.
happened.
I know.
That's what's insane. Like
I
people
know.
truly don't know that like you will see the most whack shit. And then you go home and it's like, what are we cooking for dinner? It's like, or like
Exactly.
your patients die.
Yeah.
And like, and you're just like experiencing such like,
Yeah.
and then it's just like normal.
Yeah.
Like,
But
we just
my
go home,
life
like,
outside of the OR still goes on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of funny. My husband jokes with me sometimes about how like salespeople, I use air quotes, but I think he's talking like medical salespeople.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of psychopaths because we do see stuff like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's a little bit of a crazy bone in us when we're like constantly selling and it's addicting.
Yeah.
And then I just go home like my day was normal. Like,
Yeah.
like I was just answering phone
Had a
calls.
great day.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. He married me. So,
Yeah.
I always
That's
forget
so funny.
too that like normal people don't have any idea of what it's like to stand in surgery
Yeah.
or like have no idea what it looks like in there. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never had surgery. So
mm,
my first time in the OR was in this role. Well, and in high school I did like clinicals and stuff, but I never knew what the inside of an OR looked like until
Yeah.
then. So I just think it's really interesting because now when I like talk to people, they're like, wait, you do what? And like, I'm like, yeah, I'm standing in there and this person's back is halfway cut open.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. Like I want to show my best friend pictures. I'm like, oh, look what I saw today. And she's literally gagging.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's like, how do you look at that? And it's just like
I
in your
think it's
camera
so
roll.
cool.
And I'm like, this does not faze me.
Yeah.
This is
No.
the coolest thing I've seen all day.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
You're
I
like,
don't know
this
if
is actually
y'all-
awesome.
I don't know if y'all have ever seen like a spine in surgery, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
pretty freaking cool.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Not in like real life.
It's weird to see like the vertebrae because they don't really, they just look like little like humps because there's all this tissue, but it's
Yeah.
not what you would expect.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like it's like brown and white. It's not just like straight white bone. Interesting. These are like older patients too. I
Yeah,
mean, we're like
yeah.
fusing them. So, but it's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would love to see spine. That's what. So when we were at MSC, like we would all talk about like, what specialty do you think you want to work in? And
Yeah.
like we were both like, oh yeah, we're gonna work in spine. And then that did not. That's in no way. Actually, I didn't work in anything that I originally learned or trained on.
Mhm.
So
But spine's actually really hard to get
Yeah.
into,
yeah.
surprisingly. I think because it's just so competitive, and a lot of these guys, like they just
Well, and nobody's gonna leave that job
Well,
when
right,
they're done.
yeah.
When
Yeah,
you're there,
but that's
like
what-
you stay.
That's what I was gonna say is like so many of the surgeons specifically where I work at, like, because I'm really mainly at one hospital, and all of them, they've had the same rep for probably
40
10,
years.
12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Just-
like spine's like the good old boy. Like
For sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What specialty or what surgeon do you fear the most? Like of like they're like the meanest, harshest.
Hmm.
I feel like that's a hard question after you work with some ortho guys.
Yeah, I think there's I think there's
No
just
offense.
like these different
It's different.
there's different personalities,
Yes.
right? And it's like I don't want to say anything bad, but you work with these ortho guys and they walk in and it's like truly their shit does not stink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
It
are
never
the
does.
bee's knees.
Yeah.
I make the most money for the hospital. But then the vascular guys say the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I make the most money for this
Neuro,
hospital.
yeah.
Neuro, I make the most money for this
Yeah.
hospital. It's just, I don't know. I think the ones that like, where when I'm walking in and I'm like a little bit nervous, I would say probably neuro.
Okay.
But I think because they have like such like, you have to know your stuff.
Yes.
Like this is a crazy disease state and they're so smart.
Yes.
You don't just get into neuro.
No.
Yeah.
Like your stuff, you are smart and you have to be clinical and you better know some data and you better know it.
Yeah.
It's not just like, hey, I got this new screw out. You want to try it out? It's
Yeah.
not like that. Like
Yeah.
you better know it. So I think they're a little more like intimidating. But at the end of the day, I've really had to learn through this whole process that they're people too.
Yeah.
They are just people. You see them at HEB, you'll see them at church, and they're just people.
Yep.
I mean, there's a level of respect there, sure. I mean,
Mhm.
they earned it. I'll give them that
Mhm.
respect. But I think it's more of just like an intimidation, not really like I'm
Yeah.
scared of
Yeah.
them.
No, I agree with that.
I think the other side of that too is that, like, yes, you have to be an expert on your product and everything, but at the end of the day, they know you didn't go to medical school. So
Right.
it's like if
Mhm.
you don't say everything correctly or you don't exactly know it, not in regards to your product, but like what anatomy space you're in or exactly what you're
Mhm.
looking at, like I would say at times they tend to give some grace. Like they know
Yeah.
Ashley didn't go to medical school, right? But
Oh, and I love to just set the tone like before. I mean, especially if it's a different procedure type or like, yes, I'm an expert on the technology.
yes.
Right.
But hey doc, like, do you mind if I ask questions? Or like, do you care? Like things
Yeah.
like that. Cause like so many of them want to teach you too,
They do.
like they
Right.
love to
Mhm.
teach. And so that I mean,
I agree with you on that. I've used almost every single surgery I've gone into as a learning moment. I'm like, how close
Absolutely.
can I get? Can I get in there?
yeah.
Like, let me see. Why are you doing it this way? And look, at the end of the day, you'll get a doctor every now and then that's like, why are you asking me that? Like, you
Mhm.
should probably know that. But
Yeah.
yeah, most of them, they understand.
Mhm.
I'm a rep. I went to rep school. I didn't
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
medical school. I learned my product, right? And
Yeah.
and if you're at a good company, you got to
Yeah.
learn your competitor's product, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know everything that you know. I don't know why you made that decision.
Mhm.
And you're making decisions like,
Yeah.
at the drop of a hat, like you're making crazy life-saving decisions. I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah.
You
One of
know?
my surgeons, I loved it. He's so awesome and he loves to teach. And like we've had this conversation. He's like, Sarah, like if you could only hear, if there was a mic to my brain, the things that I'm like saying. And he's like, you wouldn't expect it either. He's like, oh shit, yeah, we don't want to nick that or not. Oh, yep. Well, is that? Like, and it's
Yeah.
just like their thought process too. He's like, it's really wild. And he loves to just explain it and he loves to walk through. And at the end of the day, like every surgeon is trained differently or has
Mhm.
a different way of operating. Like their surgical algorithm may not match the next. And so
Totally.
like I think that asking the question no matter what is great because doc, I'm trying to learn what you like because I'm trying to learn you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so
And you
at the
never
end of the
know.
day.
And that's like, I have surgeons that have been operating for 30 years. And then you have
Mhm.
somebody that's right out of residency. And you can be in a tight situation where they look over at you and they're like, Ashley, I don't know what to do here. But you've learned from your older physician that's been doing it for 30 years, like little pearls. And you're like, hey, I've seen so-and-so do it this way. Like, why don't you try that and just see is that comfortable for you? Does that work for you? And you just pick up little pearls along the way and just truly like just be an asset for them. Absolutely. They love it.
Yeah, I agree
with that. And then on the flip side, what's so funny is then when you see these guys like outside of surgery or outside of the hospital setting, because I grew up with an orthopedic surgeon. He's like my second dad. And I actually worked with him for a little bit whenever I was in ortho. But him, because I knew him my whole life. And then we get up to the hospital and he's so quiet and like barely talking to me.
Different
I'm like,
person.
hey, doc. And he's just like, hey. And I'm like, and he's like, kind of talking in surgery. And I'm like, what the heck, bro? Like, I've known you my whole life.
It's like multiple personalities.
But like, I'm talking about this because you brought up like, you know, everything that goes on in their brains. And I'm like, I don't think people understand how tunnel vision they are in that moment.
And not every anatomy looks normal. Like, let's be real.
Most
you get in there.
Don't.
You get in there and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That's not the textbook,
totally
patient. And so you're like, what am I looking at? So I can only imagine.
It's like they're mentally practicing the surgery in their head.
Correct.
Over and over and over, even before they do it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But look, some of the most heartfelt and like when you leave, you're like, that was cool. Like, this is why I do what I do type cases. We did a lot of like cancer resections, tumor removals, things like that. Post mastectomy, breast reconstruction. Those are the ones that really got me. Like, as women, like what all we go through, it's a lot and it doesn't stop. And then you find out you have breast cancer. Like, I can't fathom that. And these poor women go through crazy operations like chemo, radiation. They lose their hair. You stop feeling like a woman at some point, right? And you're just a lab rat. And then you're wheeling them back to surgery and you're about to do a deep flap, right? And we're going to take all of their stomach tissue and we're going to turn it around and give them breasts again. But not only are they going to get breasts again, but we're going to hook up that nerve and they're going to have sensation in their breast again.
That's amazing.
And this is a crazy thing that a lot of people don't talk about, especially breast surgeons. And I just really wish that it was out there more, is you're going to lose a feeling in your breasts. Why don't we talk about that? I can guarantee you if it was a male, we would talk about it. If he was going to lose sensation and appendages, we're going to talk about it, right? It's insane. But these women come in, think about just anything that you would need sensation for, right? Pressure, hot and cold. One of the like moments for me that I was like, God put me in this position right here for this reason, is we were at a breast care day, or it was called a bra day. And this lady came up to me and she said, while I was going through treatment, I had my first surgery and I lost sensation in my breast and I was bent over the oven and I burnt my breast because I didn't have the sensation. I didn't know. And then she had the nerve hooked back up, I say hooked back up, like it's just some easy procedure. It's a crazy procedure, but she was able to regain sensation in her breast. Think about hugging your toddler and you can't feel it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy things that people don't think about. And we're just supposed to normalize it. Like, oh, well, you have breasts. You look normal.
Yeah, but
those are life-changing cases. And then you see them out and they're, they're happy and they're smiling and they hug you and say, you changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm just a rep.
Yeah.
All I did was get the information there to a doctor who may not have known about it because they weren't taught that in medical school.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't even know they could do that. Like hook up the nerve. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It is truly like the coolest product I have ever sold, and just witnessed like crazy transformations. We did mandible reconstructions. Now I will tell you, I am actually a patient. I had my jaw surgery almost 2 years ago now.
Okay.
I had my jaw move forward. It was wired shut. But in the process, like they slide over the nerve when they move your jaw forward.
Interesting.
And I actually don't have feeling like in my chin and my bottom lip. I have a little bit like over here, but let me tell you how that affects my life, right?
Yeah.
I go to kiss my husband and I can't feel it.
Oh.
Right. And it's been like a real mental struggle for me. I find now that like I move my lip weird, or I'm like constantly like, is it still there? Or like I just feel really self-conscious about it, right?
Mhm.
So these people have crazy tumor, like jaw, like tumors like removed. They're having their entire face reconstructed.
Yeah.
Where we take the bone out of the leg and make them a new jaw.
Wow.
And then put like a whole new nerve in there. So like imagine if you couldn't feel like all of your face.
Yeah.
You can't kiss, laugh, eat, you'll drool. I mean, wild
hard.
stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So those are truly like life-changing cases you get to see.
yeah.
Do you ever want to get that fixed?
I would have to do the same surgery over again. And like, I had an incredible surgeon. He is truly amazing. And I just don't know that I would want to go through that again.
Yeah.
Because I'm okay. Like I look normal.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't even notice. If I didn't tell you, you'd probably never notice.
Yeah.
But I would have to do that entire thing again. They have to break it again and be wired shut again. And it's not the actual surgery that scares me. It's being wired shut again.
Yeah.
That was the worst month of my life.
How, a month?
Yes. It was intense.
What was that like? If you don't mind talking about it.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Like I woke up at a surgery, right? And like I knew I wasn't going to be able to talk, but like it doesn't really hit you until you cannot talk. And you're just wired and you can't move. You can't really communicate. You're coming out of anesthesia. You're like, what is happening? It is wild. But then I get home. I'm feeding myself with a syringe in the back of my mouth because I barely have this little opening where I can feed myself. I was like massively dehydrated. Wow. I have an awesome girl here in Abilene though that came to my house and gave me a couple of IVs just to keep me like literally alive through the process. And I mean, that's how I got like all my nutrients, really, like all my vitamins, minerals was through my IV. I love Panera so much, but I literally never want to eat their soup again. Yeah. Because I would have to take their soup and like even blend it up more and just shove it in the back of my mouth for 3 weeks. But I was postpartum.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And I dropped all that weight really quick. So.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
To all the girls out there.
Yeah.
Just get your mouth wired shut. No, don't really. I'm just kidding.
Okay. I like was thinking about this though. So, and this is, I know out there, but like, what happens if you get sick and you're in that situation?
Yeah. So my surgeon coached me through that because it can happen, especially with anesthesia. And I think I was just telling myself so much, like, if you throw up, lean forward and just let it come out. Like they say, just like, don't lean back, don't swallow it, just lean forward and try to like spit it out of your. There's like this little device in there. It's like a little retainer kind of.
Okay.
And then they wire it like up and down, like kind of like sewing.
Yeah.
They wire it through the holes. So it sticks out of your mouth a little bit. So you have like a little room. Yeah, I just try to like.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I think I was so aware of it too that I woke up from surgery like thinking that. Like if you throw up, just lean forward and do that. But that's why you're on an all liquid diet.
Okay.
In case you're sick, you're on an all liquid diet so you can get it out.
That's true. Okay. So there's like no.
It's not food particles.
Oh my gosh.
It was intense. I don't recommend it. If you don't have to have jaw surgery,
don't do it.
I mean, it's rough, but
yeah. Wow. That's great. See, so my one thing is throw up. That is a no go for me. And I used to be like the puke and rally girl in college. You know what I mean? Like hold your hair back. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
But after I had a baby, oh no, I just can't do it. And so like, I'm like, that's sheer terror to me. Oh my gosh.
In this industry, we all know that integrity matters, right? So what does being an ethical rep mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the most important thing. Honestly, I think it's the only thing. If you get into this industry with the idea of like, it's about the money, you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. The money's nice.
Mhm.
We all go to work to make money. At the end of the day, that is a patient on the other side of that table. Like that is, if that's not the first thing that you think about and the only thing that you think about, then you need to leave. You need to go find another industry to work in. I have seen too many of my own friends and family like be patients and like not be the center of that decision, and it's sickening. It is truly sickening. So for me, it's the only thing that matters. It's a non-negotiable.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to choose between what was easy and what was right?
Yeah, I mean, more than I'd like to admit, more than what's comfortable, unfortunately. If I could give any advice, I would say research your doctor. There's great doctors out there.
Yeah.
I think all doctors go into their profession wanting to help people, wanting to make it better. But let's be for real. There's so many things that doctors are not in control of, right? There's so many decisions that are out of their control. From the simplest thing of like, hey, I want this certain scalpel at the hospital, but it's not on contract, so you're not getting it.
Yeah.
Like they can't even have the scalpel that they want.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But then let's talk about the elephant in the room of insurance companies.
Yeah.
Yes.
They dictate everything. And it is so, so sad. You've got who knows sitting behind the phone saying, oh, we're not going to pay for this surgery because you don't actually know what you're talking about as a doctor who went to medical school and trained on this. The insurance company dictated what that doctor is allowed to do. That is pure insanity, right? So I've been in situations where we've had to make decisions based on what the insurance company wanted. And it's something that sits with you forever.
Yeah.
It is so hard.
You have to do that every day on my side of it.
Yeah.
Because like when I was in ortho, for instance, when we're doing knee replacements, like there was regular poly and then there's one that's like the vitamin E infused poly and whatever, regardless of the specifics. I hated it every time we had to do that for a patient just because their insurance wasn't as great as the other one. I'm like, but this person needs this one too.
Yeah.
It used to tick me off. And like I went, and what's crazy to me is the general population doesn't know that any of this is going on behind the scenes.
No, they have no idea.
And like I went home and told my parents because I'm like, because my parents are older, they're old enough to have knee replacements. And I'm like, well, if it was my parent on the table, I would want them to have the best stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't everybody get the best? I don't get it.
Yeah. I'll tell you one, and this isn't like a decision that a doctor would make or me personally. It was completely out of my control, but my very first case ever in medical device, very first case. I'm out of training. I am 22 years old. Like I still have nightmares of this case though. An 18-month-old. I have an 18-month-old.
Oh my gosh.
Right now.
Yeah.
An 18-month-old. Their parents decided that they just didn't want her anymore. And they stuck this baby in a pot of boiling water.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It boiled all of her skin off. So we're in the OR for hours. This is my first case. I'm like, what did I get myself into? What am I doing here? Like I've got the yellow suit on, it's 100 degrees in the burn unit. I'm crying in my mask. It's fogging up. Like I am an emotional wreck because first of all, who does that? That's just sick. There's so many other things we could have done, but that's here nor there. So we're grafting this baby's entire body, right? The graft sits on the skin for 21 days before we can hopefully have enough donor skin from other sites of the body to cover it. In this case, there wasn't going to be. We were going to have to use cadaver skin or something else, right? But 21 days, I go to the dressing change and there was no baby. The baby had passed before the 21 days. And what sits with me is the morals of, do I call CPS? Like, what do I do? Do I call Child Protective Services on this parent? Do I report it? What do I do? Do I take this baby home with me? I'm 22 years old, but I can figure it out. If you don't want them, I want them. Like, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. But then I'm a rep, right? And it's against company policy to report them. And that sits in the deepest part of my soul. That sits in the deepest part of my soul still today. I wish that I would have reported them, right? I'm sure the hospital has their policy. I would assume that they have child abuse or, neglect or something would have happened. I don't know. I assume that they would have, but I wish I would have made a different decision that day. I didn't know what I didn't know at 22 years old. I was afraid to lose my job, right? Like, selfishly, there was a part of me that's like, I have to eat. I have bills to pay. Like, I don't want to lose this job. I love this job, but I wish I would have done something different.
Wow. So you can't beat yourself up for that.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, hopefully the hospital had every policy in line to protect that baby,
Yeah.
Sadly, that didn't get to see. That wasn't a chance that they got to see. But
I try to just live with the thought that our good Lord took that baby out of pain and said, there's a better place for you. And it's not with those parents that don't love you. Come live with me forever.
Yeah.
So,
and that, like, truly, like, that is a perfect example of, like, not understanding, if you're not in healthcare or in this side of the fence, like, the horror that you see at times of the human race.
Oh,
it's so disturbing. And I think, like, if you're really not engrossed in it, like, you kind of live in a bubble. Like, you probably have no idea.
Totally.
But like, that is traumatizing and will stick with you for forever.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go home and just...
Yeah, I will tell you, therapy, lots of therapy. I actually think it should be mandatory for these companies to offer you therapy or counseling, anything when you see traumatic cases like that, because doctors get it. Doctors get therapy for some of these cases. I mean, they get a little more used to it, and it's just kind of, I say that. I don't know that they get used to it. I don't know that anybody can get used to seeing some stuff like that. Yeah. But I do think that sometimes reps aren't taken care of in the mental health aspect. Yeah. Like, we do see some crazy things. And then we're just supposed to, like, pack up our bag and, like, roll down to the next OR and just
be the bright, bubbly face.
Yeah, and just keep going. So I will say I have making mental health a really important aspect of my life. I still to this day I use the BetterHelp app now because I moved around so much, but I will just schedule an appointment and just talk through some things. Like, you can't take that home and, like, unload that on your husband. And then he's like, you're never going to work again. What are you doing? Yeah. So I just, for the reps out there, like, I really do hope that you take care of your mental health. And there's so many resources out there. And I think companies are getting better. I do think that they at least offer, like my last company, we got 10 free sessions.
Okay.
So, anything, take advantage of it.
Well, absolutely. The other side of that too is, like, that just speaks to how much, like, I think a lot of people don't realize, like, a lot of times we don't get to follow the patient. We're not in pre-op, post-op. We're not in the ER when that patient comes in. We don't get to see the other side of what's going on. Like, for instance, in that case, like, you never knew whether somebody called or not because we don't get to see that. Yeah. Like, we just, patient gets wheeled in, we're in there, and then it's on to the next.
Yeah.
And
I'm so sorry.
Which I feel like can be more difficult when you're like, I've had certain cases keep me up at night because I'm like, how's that patient doing?
Yeah.
I'm not even the doctor.
Yeah. And there's pros and cons to being patient facing. I've had some roles where I had no contact with patients, and then I've had others where I saw patients every day.
Okay.
There's good and bad.
Yeah.
There's good and bad, right?
Sure.
Specifically for those cases, like you want to follow them and you want to know.
I think the beautiful thing though about like this role is at the end of the day, like we need people to do it. We need people to do our job, surgeons, PAs, everybody in that room. And like at the end of the day, that may be the most horrific, traumatic experience, but you get to walk in there and help save a life.
Yeah.
Which like, you know,
Right.
and that's,
and I'm the smallest part of that, right?
yeah,
I am the absolute smallest part. And I will give all the props to the surgeons that I work with. Like
sure.
most of the surgeons we work with are truly incredible.
yeah.
And you're just a small part of that. But even
Like being
the
a part of
small
team.
part, like that's enough to fill my bucket every day and go
Right.
home and just be thankful that God even gave me the opportunity to be in that room, to just know, like I've had a crap day.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to what that little baby went through. Right.
Yeah.
And I just go home and I'm just so thankful.
Yeah.
So
It does change your perspective. And I think like it helps you really stay positive and grounded and like you're, you know, you can't live in this my life sucks,
yeah.
you know, mentality because you get to see so much and like truly our lives don't suck compared to a lot of what we get to see.
Oh yeah.
So
I agree
It
with
changes
that.
your perspective in a lot of ways, not just between like life and death either, but like, for instance, for me, like I see a lot of these patients come in and they're severely overweight and they're diseased so poorly. And like you look at these CTs and MRIs and feel awful for these people. And then you see the condition they roll in and it's just like,
yeah.
it makes you one, be thankful, but also like think about how much you prioritize like your own health and the health of your loved ones. And also it's helped me learn so much just in general that like my parents or my family, like
Yeah.
I want them to be as healthy as possible, you
Right.
know, and like you can take those pearls and like share with them because like, hey, I don't want you to end up like this patient I just saw today, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've enjoyed that perspective for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I love that part of it too.
Okay. Wow, that is just, I'm sorry. Like that literally, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it all. Crazy, crazy things, but
That's
That-
horrible.
And at the time, but how do you think that would have, do you think not having a child at that point was probably helpful for you?
oh yeah, I think I will never forget that day. Like it's like just ingrained in my brain. Like I will never forget anything about that day. I stepped out of the OR, I called my mom bawling and I was like, I can't do this. This is not for me. I was going to quit. I was just out of training. I went to training for 3 months. You know, I was like running a marathon for this job. Like I trained and I was just going to throw it away. I was just going to give up because one day was hard. But like, imagine that being the first introduction. You know, I wasn't going to just like a little dressing change. Like this was death
Gruesome.
on my first day.
Yeah.
And I called her and I'm like, I cannot do this. This is not meant for me. And, you know, thank goodness I have a really good support system because she's like, Ashley, you're meant for this.
Yeah.
If it's not you, then who else would it be?
Yeah.
You know, and
It's true.
and would they really quit? Would they really give up? But like now you've got this ammo and you can tell that story and you can carry that with you and you can describe what you went through to another doctor or you know what, and you might change somebody else's life.
Yeah.
You might be able to save that, you know, like save somebody else. And if I had a kid though, and I had to go home and like look at him and I can't imagine that thought. I truly can't. And I don't know the parents' situation. I don't know their financial situation. I don't know their living situation. I don't know. But all I know is even on my kid's worst day, I just still want to hug him. I couldn't imagine not wanting him. So yeah, I don't know that I could have done it again, having kids.
Yeah. We had on Alex Green, who she runs a milk and honey concierge service, and is just so passionate about postpartum moms. And it definitely gave me a new perspective on, like, I mean, because you think about that and you're like, how could somebody do that?
Yeah.
But then, like, understanding that mental health and it's real, and like postpartum psychosis is real, and like it's not justifying it, but like it is, like, everybody, you just never know what people are going through.
Never know.
You know? And
yeah. And you bring up a good point. In this job, I have learned, like, from the rep side, from the doctor side, from the patient side, you never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah. Ask questions.
You have no, I have literally seen a doctor, like, full on meltdown, right?
Yeah.
Just losing his mind over something unrelated.
Yeah.
Walk into the OR, cool as a cucumber, just operating perfect hands, steady hands. On the flip side of that, though, right? I've seen patients come in and get the worst diagnosis of their life and smile. Yep. It's true. Like, you truly have no idea what somebody else is going through. Yeah. And I think sometimes reps, like, get this reputation of, like, oh, look at this cute little bubbly girl coming in and, like, she just smiled. Like, yeah, but that's part of why.
Yeah.
If I can just smile and make somebody else smile, like, you've seen your OR staff just be overworked, and they are having the worst day.
Yep.
Right. They're 6 cases behind. They're going to be there all night. They're missing their kid's soccer game. That stuff's hard. But if you can make their day just, like, a little bit brighter, I mean, that's the way I always think of it. Yeah, sure. There's the one that's going to think you're the annoying rep, that your life is so perfect. Right. Yeah. They have no idea. But I just always try to remember, just try to make their day a little bit better. Like, we're the good team.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing of, like, in healthcare in general, like, showing grace to everybody, because you just truly have no idea. You have no idea. So, wow.
I always try to be super bubbly and everything, and everyone, like, in the one hospital I'm at, they all know me, and they're just like, Haley. One of them calls me the bomb.com, you know, whatever. But I just walk in and I'm like, hey, and crack a joke and try and, like, make their day brighter, because they do get into that, like, mindset. But there have also been days, you know which days I'm talking about. I've been crying.
Oh yeah,
at work. Like, you know, it's one or the other.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we could go on for days of, like, just being in the OR. And you're smiling, and you get in your car and you just cry the whole way home.
Like, what just happened?
But they have no idea.
Yeah.
Imagine just being the girl that's crying in the hospital in the OR, and they're like,
what's wrong with her?
What is the most embarrassing thing you've done early in your career as a rep?
Well, to be fair, this wasn't necessarily my fault, but
let's hear it.
So I was an associate. That's how I started. And, like, I had to cover empty territories for people, like, on maternity leave or vacation or whatever. Well, there was an empty spot in the New Jersey territory, and they sent this little Texan to New Jersey. I've never been to the East Coast. And the rules are different. And I don't think, like, people really understand that, but, like, what's rules in one hospital is not necessarily rules in another hospital. And then what's rules in Texas may not be rules in New Jersey. Correct. And that was the case, right? So I show up in my scrubs, and a lot of the hospitals here, you get the bunny suit or whatever. There, you got a bunny suit, but you didn't get to wear your scrubs underneath it.
Whoa.
In the nude?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Well, I think most,
I
think most reps, well, because the problem is you can't wear your scrubs off the street into the OR.
Right. Yeah.
Well, nobody told me, so I'm just in my scrubs thinking I'll just put my bunny suit on, no worries. Well, I think most reps that work there all the time would know, okay, like, I need to bring, like, my shorts and my, my shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
Not me.
So you're standing there in your wear-wears.
Your girl's in her undies in her bunny suit. right?
That's awesome.
Was it a white one? Could you see through it?
I was mortified.
No.
I was mortified.
I gotta know,
Yes.
were you wearing like a thong or regular undies?
Oh,
or
I was
what?
definitely wearing a thong.
Yeah.
At least you
so-
didn't go commando that day.
I mean, cheeks out, baby.
Yeah, at
Whatever.
least I wasn't commando that day. You're right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely don't want a panty line in my scrubs either.
No.
So
Yeah.
Oh
nobody
my
told me.
gosh.
So I get out of that surgery and I call the manager that I was working with. I was like, hey, so you could have told me.
Yeah. The heads up would have been nice.
Could have told me.
He's
Yeah.
like,
Well, I mean, look, people hate the vending machine scrubs.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
don't
Yeah.
get me started. That's such a scam. Whoever invented that.
I mean, brilliant. Great for that person.
They used to be reps.
Yeah, of
Yeah, I
course
know.
they
Yeah,
did.
of course.
Yeah.
Don't but they didn't have. I mean, at this moment in time, I wish they would have had vending machine scrubs.
Yeah.
Most embarrassing, most embarrassing thing in my life.
That is so funny. Did anybody make a comment?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm sure there were pictures taken like from
Yeah.
the side though, or like the scrub tech or somebody being like, can you believe this rep? Like she's trying to get the business, like not knowing I'm like an associate, never coming back there ever again. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Mortified.
That is so funny. Hey, so just a heads up to you reps out there. Be careful. Pack an extra pair of.
I always keep an extra pair of scrubs or a change of clothes in my car after that. Like, cause you just never know,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
if you're at a visiting hospital. I just always be prepared.
Lesson
now.
learned. I would never think that.
No, especially if you're in New Jersey.
New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah.
The New Jersey. My sister's from New
But
Jersey.
also like, I kind of like maybe it was like a hazing because they knew us from Texas. So
yeah.
I mean, it's not hard to tell from this accent
Through that.
where I'm from. So
Yeah.
they might have just like been hazing me, but good for them. That was a good one. I'm not even mad about
Yeah, it's
it.
like they humbled me quick.
Wow.
I hope that rep is making millions now though. I really
Oh my
helped
gosh.
him out.
Heck yeah, there you go. Yeah, you did. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what is your proudest moment that you've ever had as a rep?
Yeah. Oh gosh. There's so many moments. I don't know. I mean, we could talk about awards, that's cool, but that doesn't do it for me. I think that just comes with like just being a good person and doing the right thing for the patients. Like your business will come. I think it's those moments where I actually get to see like the lady that told me that I changed her life with the breast reconstruction, or you see these like crazy cancer cases and then you go to post-op and they're smiling.
Yeah.
And, the last time you saw them, they were getting their margins checked in the OR. Like,
yeah.
and you don't know what that's going to be like. Or, most recently I did spinal cord stimulators.
Okay.
And what a true, like, just fill your bucket moment when these patients come in every single month and they're on God knows what opioids, right?
Yeah.
And they're addicted to pain medication because they're in so much pain. And then you change their life with this. They're getting so much pain relief that they are not on medication anymore. Like that's
amazing.
for me, those are the moments that I'm like, yes, that's a win.
Yep.
Awards, whatever. That's cool, right? They sit on the shelf and they collect dust. Like I don't ever think about that again. I literally never think about it again.
Yeah.
But I think about those moments.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
For
the patients
sure.
for me. Or like crazy ones. But you know what I'm talking about as a rep is when you see a doctor and they're like, hey, I want to show you this patient.
Yes.
And they're like, look, they're like walking. They don't have drop foot anymore.
Yeah.
Or, they're like, they want to show you
Yeah.
in their own little doctor way. They're like thanking you without thanking you.
Correct.
So those are wins that that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So let's talk about like being full-fledged in your career and then transitioning into mom mode and just the balance, the dynamic, your experience.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so much harder than I ever thought it was going to be. When I was young and single and not a mom, I think I just had this idea of like, I am a boss babe,
Yeah.
right? It's easy to get that Like you're out there, you're crushing it, you're doing well. Like you have a really cool job. Your friends are jealous of your cool job and you're just doing cool things, right? You're climbing the ladder. I started as an associate. Like I've worked my way up. You know, you get to just climb that corporate ladder. And then you have a kid. You get married, you have a kid. And I don't think anybody talks about like the realness of that. Like my kid is 16 weeks old. I'm supposed to go back to work. Like, what do you mean? I just grew this baby for 9 months. Yeah. You want me just to stick him in daycare? And no offense to any daycares or to the moms that have to do that or, you know, that choose to do that, because I'm in that place now where I'm like, there's a fork in the road and I had to choose, right? But it's so hard. I used to think for real that you could have it all as a mom, as a woman. And I think what's not talked about enough is you can't have it all. I don't care what anybody tells you, they're lying. When you're at work, you're not giving 100% to your family. And when you're with your family, you're not giving 100% to work. There's not like a true balance. I haven't found it yet. If there is, somebody please hit me up, let me know. But there's not a balance. Like I'm just, something is a sacrifice when you're trying to do it all. And unfortunately, we're in an industry where they don't care. They don't care if you're a mom. Get to work, lady. You got cases, you know, like it's not at the forefront. And especially because we're in a male dominated industry, right? They don't have babies. Yeah. And a lot of these guys, and good for them, are doing well enough that their wives don't have to work. Like I love that for them. Like
phenomenal.
Yeah. I just talked to a rep friend of mine yesterday and I'm like, what's your wife doing? He's like, oh, she's just taking the kids like to the park. I'm like, oh gosh, it's like, you know, but I also envy very much the moms that can do that. And let me explain. Because when I was pregnant, and me and my husband are, I would say, probably more traditional than most couples these days. We have those very traditional values. Like we very much like want to raise our kid. We love the idea of being with our kid more than him being with a stranger. And, you know, we don't do a lot of TV and like, we're very hands-on with him. Like we live on a ranch so he can like be like out in nature. Like we're kind of old school, but I love it so much. What I was not prepared for was when I was pregnant, I thought, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for this beautiful little angel baby to be here. And I never care about work again. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to sniff his little head all day. And like, it's going to be all snuggles and okay. It's not. Nobody told me. Nobody told me. Look, I want to be that girl so bad. But I think, and I'm having a hard time with this right now. Like even just finding the words to like describe that to my husband. And shout out to all the injectors out there because it's free therapy. But I was just with my injector the other day and she's like going through something similar. Like her son's only a week older than my son. And I'm not the mom that can like sit in the floor and like play trucks and just like not have anything on my mind and just like be in that moment. And there's a lot of mom guilt to that because I want to be that. I want to be the mom that's like in the kitchen making sourdough, like have dinner ready when my husband gets there and like, the house is clean and I'm like vacuuming when he gets home and like, I want to be that. But something in me is just not that. And I don't know if maybe like it's this career, like I've always had this like super fast pace. Like when I go to work, I love it. And I do get fulfillment from that. And not that I don't get all the fulfillment from my family, but it's really hard. Like when I'm at home, I feel like overwhelmed. I feel overstimulated. And I think this is something that men don't really understand is, I've got this 18-month-old and from the moment he wakes up, it's like wine, like bottle and then food and then like tearing toys like everywhere. And he just is like always on the go. You know, we can't just like sit and chill and do nothing. Like he wants to do all of the things. And that's really, really hard for me because I just feel so overstimulated. And he's just like, there's a different relationship with the mom than there is with the dad, right? And like he can roughhouse with dad and play and like, but with me, he's, you know, more like emotional and like whiny, and he wants me to hold him, and he's like tugging on me. So I think, and I don't know exactly like how to say this. I know there's going to be judgment and people are going to, you know, they're going to have their opinions. But for me, to be the best mom that I can be for him and to show up and really be there for him, like I need that moment every day to step away. I really need that. I need to be with other adults. I need to have adult conversations, because when I'm at home, I'm stressed. I feel like if there's something on the floor, I got to clean it up. If there's laundry, I got to do it. Like I can't just like relax and just like let it be and be in the moment. I'm not wired that way. I want to be. I want to be so hard. And I mean, me and my husband, I try so hard to like explain this to him, but not even the right words come out, right? Because I don't want him to look at me and be like, why don't you want to be here with our son all day? Like, what do you mean? Because he would probably like kill to have that, right? Like just ride around on the Ranger, feed the cows, like do dude stuff all day. But I can't. And I have a million things going on in my mind too. I'm like, okay, we need groceries. He needs a doctor's appointment. Like I got to make sure I order him more diapers. I got to order all of his supplements. He's in eczema school too. So like, I got to make sure I keep up with eczema school. And I'm like, well, I haven't showered today. I also haven't eaten today. Like I need a second. And I think what a lot of women don't talk about, and it's really hard to talk about with your husband, because still to this day, I haven't found the right words of like, how do I say without sounding selfish, like my kid's not the most important thing in the world, of like, I was a whole person before I was a wife. And I was a whole person before I was a wife and a mom. Like I'm a whole person, and we neglect ourselves so bad. And I think that's part of like why I struggle being at home, is like, I want to shower. I want to eat. I want to work out. Like I want to get myself together and like be the person when my husband comes home that's like, hey baby, like looking good. But instead I'm like in my frumpy sweatpants and I don't have on any deodorant. And like, I'm so overstimulated that I'm like,
get away.
I'm like, just get away from me. And I'm in a bad mood. So I think for me, like I need to still work. So, I mean, that was a very long-winded answer, but it's like so on me right now. We're going through this right now because you want to do it all.
I think so. Sarah and I talk about this a lot, but I think women that step into this industry, because again, it's a male-dominated industry, I think that we're all wired a certain way, and like we all want to be able to have that like autonomy, and we're so ambitious and so eager and go. But I appreciate you sharing this, because I'm not a mom, but I will tell you that's like my biggest fear, because I can just see it now. I feel like I'm going to go through the same thing that you're going through, because like, and I tell Sarah all the time, I'm like, I don't like to cook. I don't like to clean. Like I'm not
housewife material.
I'm not a housewife. Like I'd rather pay somebody to do that stuff for me. Honestly, for me, it takes too much time out of my day. It sounds stupid, but
it doesn't. No, like that's what I have truly come to just learn, show myself grace. I'm unapologetic about it. Like to the point where, because like I totally agree with you. Like literally every single word you said, I'm like, yes. That's why leaving Abilene's non-negotiable for me. Why? Because I have every aunt, uncle, cousin, grandparent at the drop of a hat to call on if we need something, or if I want to go do something, or, you know, like with my husband or whatever. I'm not going to apologize for, I think Sloan is so, I mean, he's so emotionally intelligent. He's just, he's smart. He's such a smart boy. And he's so well socialized in so many different facets because of daycare, because of grandparents and family. And like, he's thriving. Like
Yeah.
he's, like, why am I going to apologize for a kid being happy? Like,
Yeah.
he gets the moon hung by every person that he is with. Like, no, you know, like, I know that my mental health and my mental capacity, if I was the only one to do that and to be that for him, he would not be thriving the way that he is today. Like, and like, just, so, I mean, we started at MSC when he was 10 weeks old.
Yeah.
We've got an Airbnb in Dallas for 3 months. We drove every Sunday night to Dallas. My dad watched him for a couple of days, and Justin came in the middle of the week. He had his weekend in the middle of the week, and then we'd come back Fridays. And like, I felt horrible, yes, because like my baby is 10 weeks old, but I'm also like, you know what? Like, life is a series of trade-offs. And at the end of the day, too, he is like, although my world does revolve around him, yes, but like, he is going to learn a very hard lesson one day that the world does not revolve around him.
Totally.
And like, you are going to have to learn all of these like hard lessons. And I want you to know that you can show up and you can do it all and you can have it all. But because life is a series of trade-offs, and if you can just accept that, and like, I hate the word like I want work-life balance. Well, it's not going to be balanced. Like, it's a blend of, of everything. And it's just like, I mean, I want him to see that, like, if you're passionate about something and you love something, you can love multiple things. And loving one thing doesn't take away from that thing too. Like me loving my job or loving podcasts or, what have you, doesn't take away from the love that I have for my husband and the love that I have for my son. So like,
totally,
I hear you and I see you, and just like, know that you don't have to apologize for it.
Yeah.
Like,
that makes me think about two things. And one, we need more women that'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
My circle has gotten so much smaller since I've had my son, because there's so much judgment about the decisions you make. Like, if you need to put your son or daughter in daycare, like I am here for that. The reason that we chose not to do daycare is because my son has severe food allergies and eczema. Like, they're not prepared for that. Like, are they checking my kid every 5 seconds to make sure he doesn't have hives?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Right. So that was our own decision. And we know that there's sacrifices that we have to make.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And expensive ones, because we have a full-time babysitter, and she is amazing, and she comes to our house and she's in his environment.
Yeah.
Right. Now he doesn't get a lot of the interaction with other kids, but we sure hope that one day, like, he's going to get that.
Yeah.
Right. But then my second thing that you made me think about is, I do not feel like it is fair to put our finances only in my husband's hands.
Yeah.
And he probably would hate to hear me say that, because he is truly amazing. Like I said, he's just very traditional, like old school cowboy, good guy. I know that he wakes up every day and it's on his shoulders. Like, he takes that on.
Provider, leader.
Totally. He is the provider. And I know that's like his goal, and that's what he was sent here to do. I know that he would tell you that too.
Yeah.
I'm not that way.
Yeah.
And selfishly, there's a part of me, because of how I grew up. My mom wasn't like in a super stable relationship all the time. So I did see like different men in her life. And when they would leave, it was like, we're starting over. Like, what is this? Right. And I saw that, and my mom is great, but I did learn that from her of like, I don't want that. Right. Yeah. So I worked really hard to have a really great career that I could provide for myself.
Yep.
I don't think that Caden would ever leave me. Good luck trying to leave me, is all I'm saying. But should he ever leave me, right? I want to know that I can take care of myself and my son, but not even leave me. What if something happens, right? And I have to provide. Like, I'm not going to do it selling sourdough. Like, that's just, I don't see that happening for me. So I want to know that I can take care of us. But I also don't want to put that pressure on him of like, we do like nice things. You know, I don't need a Range Rover and I don't need to live in the biggest house on the hill, but I do want comfort. Like I do want to know that down the road, if my son's in an eczema program, it's not cheap. And we had to pay cash for that because it's not covered by insurance, of course. Not eczema, not covered by insurance.
Yeah.
Say we're down the road and my son wants to go to baseball camp. He needs braces, you know, whatever. I don't want him to take out $150,000 in student loans. Yeah. I just don't think it's fair if I'm capable of working in an industry that provides well to put all of our financial stress on my husband. I don't see that. I know Caden would take it on in a heartbeat by himself, but I'm just,
so would my husband.
But I battle that all the time of like, okay, can I let go a little bit? Like, can I lean on him more? But also he works in oil and gas. So when oil is good, it's good. But when oil is not good, it's not good. It is not good. I'm just saying OnlyFans be looking real good sometimes. But nobody wants to see this. So
oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I always tell myself maybe I should do feet pics, like only feet.
Yes.
Call it only feet.
Yes.
Get an Instagram page.
Yeah. Like if you don't have to show your face. But
we should all start an only feet.
Oh, I've got tattoos on my feet. So
do you?
Oh, even better. Even
I have
better.
one too. So like
I
I'd
they
be
love
identifiable.
that.
Yeah.
Blurred out.
Yeah.
Light. What's it called? Lightroom these days.
Yeah,
or Facetune, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's so hard. There's so many. I know. I just think moms like.
We carry a different level of guilt.
Totally. There's just so much hate right now. Like every time you get on an Instagram or I like almost can't do it now. Like I only get on there to buy stuff now. Like legitimately, I'm just like, oh, these pants are cool. Like I don't, because it's so divided. And the one thing that we could all do better is like you said earlier, just give each other grace and just be there to support. It is so hard. And one thing that I did learn through pregnancy is everybody that had an opinion or the you just wait. Where are those people now? Yeah. Nowhere. Everybody wanted to give me advice. Yeah. Everybody wanted to tell me what to do, what not to do. And you should go to this pediatrician and you should use this formula or you shouldn't use formula at all. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you would even consider formula. Yeah. Where are they now? Not one of them has checked in on me. Not one of them has called and said, hey, sis.
I see you at my house feeding my baby. Yeah. Like, you know, like, and helping, you know.
Yeah, nobody's coming over like, hey, sis, you need a minute?
Yeah.
Let me pick up your house for you and you just enjoy time with your baby. Yeah. So just be nice. Like, let's just help some moms out, you know, like, let's just.
And like like stay-at-home mom need that too.
Totally.
Like I could single-handedly not imagine that being my sole and only job and never getting a break.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times too, when you end up being like my mom, right? Like, I mean, there's 3 kids. We're all 22 months apart. Like daycare, no shot, you know, like that's an entire, that'd be more than your income even. Yeah. So it's like, no. But then, you know, I didn't grow up always right near grandparents and things. And like my parents had great church friends and things like that, but that were like substitute grandparents, you know, but still like my dad worked 2 jobs and my mom stayed at home and she needed a break and she deserved a break, you know, and she never got it. And bless her heart, you know, and like, so they need it too. It's not just like, yes, sure, we may have an outlet of going to work, but it's still like, you know,
isn't that crazy that that's our outlet is like going to do more work? It's just different. But
I have a question on this topic because I'm not a mom, but as moms, why do you guys think that so many women judge each other or judge other moms for their choices that they make with their kids? Like, I know you guys have different perspective on it, but why do you think that they're so judgmental?
Honestly, I can't even wrap my head around why, because I'm like, if there's something that works for you and your life and your family and your dynamic, or that's what's best for your kid, like you're that mom. That's not my judgment call. I mean, there's obviously situations like talking about, you know, obviously like what happened to that baby that came in. Like there's a line of like, you know, but I think that I will say, I think postpartum's really hard. And I think comparison's the thief of joy. And I think that there's a level of insecurity that you develop in postpartum that like, it just makes you maybe not exactly yourself. But I also am like, I don't know. I just can't wrap my...
And it's isolating too.
It is.
Yeah. But to be real honest with you, I think a lot of it just comes from women are mean.
Yeah.
They're mean.
Yeah.
They have no grace for each other.
Yeah.
We have more grace for celebrities we see online than we do like the people in our own community or our own friends.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely wild to me. But I mean, yeah, to your point, like there's still a part of me where I can't wrap my brain around it of like, why are we like that?
Yeah.
Why are we mean?
Like, I just feel like and that it makes me sad because I want to like show grace of like, are you just miserable? But it's like, I don't understand. I mean, and I personally, I don't feel as though, I don't know. I before I had a baby, I'm not one to judge at all because I've never had a baby. So like you do you, you know, and then after I've had a baby, I don't know. I think for me, what's helped is I've been so focused on and truly just developed this mindset. Like, I don't really care what other people are going to say and think. Like, I'm going to do what's best for me. But I've also been so isolated and alone and just like one track mind of like what my goals are and like what, like for myself, for my family, for my kids. Like it's just where I haven't even had time to stop and think about it.
Yeah.
But it is true. Like,
and I think social media has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
So much to do with it. I mean, it's mind numbing to me that we idolize celebrities. They're not relatable. Can we please stop idolizing celebrities? They're not relatable. There's not one chance that I'm going to have Kylie Jenner's body back like that. Like, yeah, that's easy to do when you have $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
You've got a nanny, you've got a night nurse, you've got a chef, you've got a house cleaner, you've got
a personal
17
trainer.
sisters. Yeah. I mean, you truly have a village around you and money to do unlimited things. And that's not normal people life. That's not relatable. So why do we idolize them? You know, like, let's idolize the single mom who gets up and a mom win is getting her coffee in while it's still hot and not crying by lunch.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a woman, you know, not the crap we see on TV.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So what, like for you moving forward, like what's your long-term goals? How do you get back to feeling like more like you and like yourself?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I think every day's a challenge. I mean, there's literally days, one was last week, right, where I'm just breaking down, crying to my husband in tears of like, I don't know what to do. The mom guilt is so much. It's so heavy. Where's the happy balance to where I feel like I'm getting all my buckets filled, right? I've had to let go of a lot of me, of what makes me and what makes me happy. And because his happiness is more important and my husband's happiness is more important. Seeing them happy and taken care of like gives me like what I had to sacrifice, if that makes sense. But we're working through some things now. I'd tell you one thing that like I completely erased from my head was just like this bad bitch mentality of like, you can do it all, you can have it all, you can climb the corporate ladder and you can have like this perfect family and this, you know, these thriving kids. That's not true. And I'm willing to make less money. I'm willing to have a lesser title. I'm willing to give up a lot more of those things to be present at home and, you know, to make soccer games or whatever. I mean, I'm hoping for rodeo, not really soccer, but it's a lot of sacrifice. It's so funny because one thing that really stuck with me throughout pregnancy and postpartum was like people would say, your life is about to change. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole point of having
Absolutely.
kids
Mhm.
and being married. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
I lived such a selfish life before where it was all about me. Everything I did was for me, was about me and my future. And now it's just different. And I love it. And I don't have all the right answers. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm just doing the best that I can. And I'm just trying to figure it out. And I hope that I get there. You know, I hope I can find a job within the industry that is a little more lax and doesn't take so much of me.
Mhm.
But there's also probably a part of me that could like let a little bit of that go.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find that right now. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to let that go. That's all I did for so long
Mhm.
that I don't really know how to do anything else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? And to find a job that's what I don't want is to have a job
Right.
that you go and you clock in and you hate it and you're only there because you need the benefits. If I'm going to leave my house and be away from my kid and from
It
my
better-
husband, it damn sure better make me happy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I will say, I have gotten a lot more like, this is the line in the sand. I don't have to put up with this.
Yeah.
I can go home to my kid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See you later.
And that's such
That's
a nice
awesome.
place to be.
Oh, it's so good. But also, not everybody has that. And I'll say, like, you have to have a support system. And I truly have like the best husband on the planet. Like,
Mhm.
he is amazing and he supports me in everything. And that poor guy, poor guy. One day I'm just like, you know, happy making chocolate chip cookies. And the next day I'm like crying in the kitchen, like, everything is shit. I hate it. I hate everything. Like, I'm not happy. And then I just like
Yeah.
snap out of it, right?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I was just having a minute. I was overstimulated. Like, I haven't showered and
Yeah.
but he's great. But he supports me in this and he knows that I need that part of me to just not lose my mind.
Mhm.
So have a support system. If you don't have it, find it.
Build one.
Build one. Yeah. Do whatever you got to do. That's what I would, if I could give any advice, just
Yeah.
have a support system.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I'm excited for you. And I just like seriously want to encourage you, like, don't beat yourself up over and like don't apologize for needing to take care of you too, because that what you said earlier, that's exactly what I say. Like, I was a person before I was married. I was a person before I was a mom. And
Mhm.
like we still get to be those people. And I think you'll find that you'll show up like so much better
Yeah.
as and like unapologetically, like to show up 150% for your kiddo, you
Yeah.
know, and he'll see that.
No, I agree. I just you can't forget about yourself. You have to take care of yourself, whatever
Yeah.
that looks like for you. If that's, you know, working out or taking a bath or, you know, whatever it is, like you
Yeah.
have to do it. And it did take me a little bit to get back into that because I'm naturally just a giver and I will give and give and give and give and give until
Mhm.
there's nothing left of me.
Yeah.
Until I'm like a puddle on the floor and I'm like, okay, now somebody rebuild me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
Yep.
So
I agree. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for coming on.
yeah.
We loved just chatting and getting to deep dive into your experiences and your journey, and you're crushing it in life and as a mom, and we're so excited for you and your future.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I can't wait to
Yeah.
be back. Next time we're gonna spice it up a bit.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experience. And I want you to be so proud of
Mhm.
yourself, and you're going to get it figured out. And maybe you need to go back to work and just have your own thing. But I appreciate your perspective so much
Mhm.
because I'm like sitting here, I'm like, I love this girl because I'm like, I just
Yeah.
see so many, like, I think we're all kind of wired this way, but so many similarities.
Mhm.
Like, I see a lot of like me in you, maybe probably the younger version, before mom version of yourself.
Did she just call me
out? sorry.
She just called me out.
Okay, to be fair, I'm not even Sarah's age yet, so I'm like,
Yeah, she's
calling me old, too.
I'll be 30 this year.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you don't look a day over 30. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Over
saying.
21.
It's the Botox.
But anyway, so thank you so
That's so
much for
funny.
coming on. And
Yeah.
I'm excited. We're going to dinner later. Like,
Heck
I
yeah.
have questions for
Woo!
you.
Yeah.
Mommy's night out.
Oh yeah. No, I've literally been
Yeah.
looking forward to this. Like I'm so excited.
Same.
Yeah. Girls' night. For sure. So
Thanks for tuning in.
yes. Bye.